Welcome to the Jim Florentine Comedy Metal Midgets podcast on riotcast.com. Upcoming tour dates. I'll be in a bunch of cities. I just posted a bunch of shit on jimflorentine.com to the end of the year. If you get a chance, check it out. August 8th at the Ridgefield Playhouse in Ridgefield, Connecticut with Rich Voss and Bonnie McFarlane. And August 19th at the Gas Lamp in Long Beach, California with my buddy Dean Del Rey. And it's hosted by Jose Mangan from SiriusXM's Liquid Metal. He's living out there in that area. So come out to that show. Should be a good one. Long Beach, California, the Gas Lamp. And then August 21st to the 23rd, South Point Casino in Vegas with Bobby Slayton and Lenny Clark. I can't wait for that show. It's going to be fucking unbelievable. And then I just got gigs. The Stress Factory in New Brunswick, New Jersey just went on sale September 24th through 26th. I'll be in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, New Hope, Minnesota, North Glendale Heights, Illinois, Buffalo, New York, Syracuse, St. Louis, Missouri, Bensalem, PA, Plano, Texas, Providence, Rhode Island, and Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania on New Year's Eve, Mount Airy Casino. So all the shit's up on jimflorentine.com. I don't feel like going over it. I'm sure you guys don't feel like hearing it. You're like, I don't live in St. Louis, so what the fuck do I care? I get it. ComedyMetalMidgets@gmail.com is the place to send awful Facebook posts. Any CrossFit horse shit for that second podcast that you might see out there. Bad slang words, send them. Vanity plates. Awful T-shirts. You know the deal. Check it out. Send it over to there. And then if you're going to shop on Amazon, go to my website, jimflorentine.com, and shop from that link first. It helps fund the podcast. All right. We're going to start this one off. This is a podcast, me and Joe Howard. Now, Joe Howard has been on my podcast before as a frequent guest. Gary from Florida will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'll be down in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, this Friday, July 31st at the Culture Room with Don Jameson and Eddie Trunk. We do a live stand-up show from that metal show. So if you're in Fort Lauderdale, I'll be down there this Friday. Gary from Florida will be at the show, and I'll get him on the podcast once again. And I'll be on next week or two, but I'll see him this week. So people clamor for him constantly, and he'll be back. But in the meantime, Joe Howard is back. Friend of mine, comic from Cleveland, Ohio. Joe is famous in my podcast history for he was the guy in the episode where I was driving his truck and I wouldn't let him piss. He wanted to pull over and piss, so I told him to piss in the empty bottles in the back seat, and it was a whole ordeal. And then just more recently, that was probably about a year and a half ago, and then more recently was when this drunk chick came in the back in our green room after our comedy show and mentioned something about an oil change. And it was a whole thing about it's called Oil Change, the episode. It's insane. So that's Joe Howard. He's been on a few. So we're on the road in Omaha, Nebraska. We figure we just shoot the shit on a podcast, talk about different topics and different stuff, and just the things we do on the road, the childish antics that we do, the ball busting, how my crowds don't really draw any chicks. And then he bought one of those sticks that I say every week to stick in somebody's ass. Joe has one of them, so there's a big discussion on that. Joe's into that periscoping shit. There's a big discussion on that. And he uses some slang words in the middle that we have a little beef with. So it's us just talking shit, finding out what we do when we're fucking bored. So here it is, Joe Howard, really good comic out of Cleveland. It's a funny conversation and just the childish things that we do on the road because we're bored and we got nothing else going on, so we just bother people for no reason. And then we'll finish off the podcast with a song. This is a band called Wilson. I don't know if I played them a few weeks ago or not. I forget. They're out of Michigan, got 2 records out. I really like these guys a lot. Check them out. A band called Wilson, and the song is called Guilty. You're Already Dead. All right, I'm here with Joe Howard. Now, Joe, if you guys are familiar with the podcast, Joe is famous for his the one podcast where he was in the backseat of his truck and I was driving and I wouldn't pull over for him to piss and told him to piss in the bottles, and it was a whole ordeal. of just fucking anger and rage. It was beautiful. And then more recently about the oil change, when that drunk chick came in the back and in the dressing room after our show, and Joe mentioned needing an oil change. She said she does oil changes, and it was just complete mayhem. If you haven't listened to that one, it came out about like 2 months ago. It's called Oil Change, and that was Joe. Joe, have you gotten a lot of feedback from the oil change one?
Yeah, it's the best when we're on the road. Like people in Omaha, Nebraska coming up and talking about how great it was that I was screaming and threatening to kill people. They love it. It's awesome.
What did your friend, the comedian Mike Polk, say about my performance in the oil change?
He said you were a puppet master, an evil puppet master that pulls strings like nobody he's ever seen ever in his life. He loved it. Mike Polk's a great comic from Cleveland. He's done a lot of stuff, and he's awesome. And he loved it. He was just texting me. He was almost live tweeting it to me. He's like, I can't fucking believe this. He's just texting me over and over. I'm listening to it right now. He made me go back and listen to some of it. I could hardly get through it because I sound like such an ass, but it's great.
You didn't sound like an ass. You were just like, look, fucking leave me alone. I don't want an oil change.
Yeah, I was just angry. I'm just an angry guy in general, so it's fine.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Why I know Joe is the most abrasive guy when you first meet him, like just in public and stuff like that. He's just surly.
I give the worst first impression to everyone I meet. And then when people get to know me, they end up liking me, though. Like, you ended up liking me, so.
No, because I like fucking jerks. You remind me of, like, Rich Voss. When you meet Rich Voss, you're like, what a dick that guy is. And then you love him.
I know. Voss has been a dick to me so many times, and I love it. I think it's hilarious. He always tells the same dumb joke. Like, he tries to be mean to you right off the bat. It's great, though. But I love him. I always fuck with him when I see him.
But yeah, I mean, Joe just like, we'll go to a restaurant. He's like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, can I have your order? Yeah, give me the cheeseburger, no fries, and definitely no onions. I don't like onions. And yeah, Miller Lite. I'll take that too. Thanks.
Not any thank you or just not.
Eventually you throw it in.
But it's just
like, I'll take.
It's abrasive.
It's just abrasive. No smile. And then yeah, thanks.
I don't know.
No eye contact. No, it's beautiful. Yeah. Whenever we're trying to, I remember, I think we were trying to get permission to shoot some sketches in this place, like a coffee shop. And Joe's like, I'll go in there and ask. I go, no, Joe, you're not the right guy to go in there to ask to break the ice. We need someone more pleasant that's going to put it in a nice way instead of going, hey, look, we're going to fucking shoot this shit. All right, we'll just be over there. Don't worry about it. So we go, no, you're not the first guy to break the ice.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. I'm not good at breaking the ice. And it's just uncomfortable. I know, but I mean, when people get to know me, they like me, so that's the thing.
No, absolutely. No, I love it, too. It was great because when Joe was married to be on the road, I remember there was this one gig. These girls came up to me, Joe, and Chad, I think it was. We're at the merchandise table, and they were like 4 single girls like, hey, you want to go out and party with us? And we're like, yeah, maybe. They go, we're going to be in the bar next door. Come join us. I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll see what's going on. And then they go to Joe. They go, you can't go because you're married. And Joe goes, do you really think I want to go with you? And then he whipped out a picture of his wife at the time. He goes, look at my wife and look at you guys. Okay, my wife's a 10. You guys are 6s. I wouldn't hang out with you anyway. It was beautiful. You just shut them right down.
I did do that a lot. There was another great one where me and you, this was after I was, after my ex, after we divorced. And remember the guy came up and he was bothering us. He was being real shitty. He was talking about, I think he was just talking about heavy metal. He was just irritating us. We were trying to talk about something. And he just kept butting in and saying dumb shit, and he was annoying the shit out of us. Remember, I just pulled up that video of me having sex with this girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's my dick. Look at that. I was just showing him until he went away.
That's Joe's move. He just shows fucking a video of his dick. When these guys come up and start bothering, just say stupid shit. You know what I mean? Just like, look, that's my dick right there. The guy's like, I don't want to see your dick. No, look at it. Come on. Is it big? What do you think? And they just run away. It's a great deterrent.
There's a girl in it, too, but the star is always my dick. So, they hate it. It's great. They run away.
But those girls were trying to, like, rub it in that you were married. And too bad you can't hang out with us. So, because you're married.
You better be pretty fucking hot. You're going to step to me with some shit like that. I mean, don't come up with your fucking weak ass fucking wearing a shitty maxi dress, dumb bitches. I'm not gonna listen to it. You better come up. You better be really hot if you're gonna come with me.
Right, and then they were like, "Yo, what an asshole he is." I'm like, no, I don't. He really wasn't an asshole. You guys started it by rubbing it in that he couldn't hang out because he's married. Like, ha ha, too bad. And then he just said, "Well, I'm not gonna because my wife's way hotter than you."
Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm allowed to have beers whenever I can do whatever I want. Fucking, you're not gonna tell me I can't. You're gonna tell me I can't go with Florentine to the bar next door because your dumb fucking ass is there? Fuck that shit. I'll do whatever I want. Fuck them. Dumb whores. They're always trying to put men down. They're always trying to get their thumb on us. Fuck them. I ain't gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's too funny, man. So yeah, so me and Joe pretty much almost got single at the same time. Both went through divorces. Similar situations went down, but and then Joe was married, I was married, or in a relationship most of the time. We started working together for like the last 8 or 9 years. So there's never been times where we were ever single at the same time.
Never one time were we single at the same time.
And I was maybe single for like 6 months at one point, and that was it. So we've always been. So we don't mess around. We never did that on the road. We just fucking hang out, have a couple beers afterwards.
Yeah.
And now we're both single. This is when everything first went down. We were both single for a little while, and we're like, Joe's like, where are all the chicks? Because then you finally realize there's no chicks that come to my shows.
I realized that the second I got single, Jim knew and was like, oh, fuck. And so he took me on the road for some gigs. And I was like, well, this will be great, You weren't even single yet, I don't think. I think it was a couple months later. So I'm like, oh, good. I'm going to go on the road with Jim, and there's going to be some girls, and I'm going to, get that road thing that comics get. Well, then I realized Jim's fans are all Howard Stern fans, That Metal Show fans.
Opie Radio, Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Jim, Opie and Anthony. And it's all like they're people in their 40s wearing Motorhead shirts, and they're couples, and it's just dudes, and there's no single chicks. And it made me furious, and I yelled at Jim, why didn't you do more Chelsea lately so there'd be some bitches at these shows? And there never is. There was never an opportunity. I've never gotten a road hookup, ever.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of 40-year-old dudes in Rush shirts.
Which is great, and
Absolutely.
The crowds are good.
But if you're single, it's not a good.
It just doesn't help.
There's other comics that have done like Chelsea lately and draw a lot of females, hot chicks and stuff like that. That would be a good tour to be on, but that's nothing like my crowd.
I've had friends that opened up for Chris D'Elia and Joe Coy and Ben Glebe, and they're just swimming in pussy after the show.
Right, because it's all like a lot of girls, a lot of hot chicks too to come to the show.
Yeah, Chelsea lately, yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, your crowd, it's unbelievable.
It's a good deterrent when you're in a relationship or you're married, so there's not even a temptation there. But then when you get single, you're like, oh man.
Yeah, I can count like maybe 3 times I was on the road with you when I was married where I was tempted. Just 3 times. That's it.
Right.
Like other than that. And I've been on the road with you a million times. And yeah, just 3 times. One time there was a shot girl in Cincinnati. Oh, she just said, come home with me. Oh, I was a good boy.
And you didn't.
Nope.
Yeah, because you know why you didn't?
Because I'm a faithful guy. I'm nice. I didn't cheat on my wife. Yes.
Right. You just don't do that shit, right?
You're not supposed to.
Right.
I'm not going to say anymore.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's just usually what you do.
That's what you do. I wish I had a time machine. Go back to Cincinnati. At Sneaky Pete's, that was the bar. That fucking shot girl. God damn it. Fuck. She's a 9. Easy. Yep, turned her down.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get them all. You can't win them all.
Yeah, no, you can't. What are you going to do? It's fun to watch you being single now and watch you try, and there's just nothing.
There's nothing. I'm not even trying. There's nothing,
Just nothing happens.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, I'll talk to this guy about Iron Maiden for the next 2 hours.
Seriously, 2 sold-out shows last night. We were both crushing it, just killing. After the show, they bought merch, but they just keep it moving, and we walk out into the bar, and there's literally no one, just staff. We just have a beer, and then we yell about the steroid controversy in baseball, and then we go back to the hotel.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, but that's all right, though. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't
I'm not,
I don't care either. I'm dating somebody back home and stuff. I'm being a good boy again. So I don't know. I'm having a good time. So
When when you first start out, it's exciting, and that's what you do after a show. That's all you want to do. That's what I did when I first started doing comedy. But it's like, that's way down the list of things to do now.
yeah, I never had that. I never did it. So like whatever. I don't miss it. You know what I mean? It's funny to talk about. It's funny to talk about how there's no single girls at your show. It's hilarious.
Right. Yeah.
Like I actually heard you the other day go, "Where are the single ladies at? Are there any single ladies?" You said it from the stage, and it was nothing.
Yeah. And I think the second show last night there was one girl, one woman. Yeah, and that was it. Nobody else.
And she was probably 50 and divorced.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, or 60 and divorced, something like that. Yeah. So, what are you gonna do? All right, we're just gonna talk about different things. So, wait, what is some of the shit that I do on the road that always makes you uncomfortable, like that fucking with people?
I don't like when we go to Starbucks and they ask what your name is and you tell them your name is Jennifer. And they write it on the cup. That's uncomfortable.
And then I always go, yeah, I'll take whatever, a large coffee, and you're standing right there, and I go, and whatever she wants.
Yeah, and then you also, there was that one.
And then what happens when they go, Jennifer? I'm like, right here. I put my arm up in the air, make a scene, and everyone's looking. Sometimes they laugh at the name, Jennifer. And
then you get mad, and you say you're named after your grandmother. And
yeah, I go, what's so?
Died.
Yeah, I go, why is that funny? She goes, no, I was just. I go, Dad, that's my name. That was my grandma's name. She got named after her.
What about the one that in Lancaster the other day? It was this really pretty black girl. She was cute, and you told her that it was our anniversary, and then. I wasn't really that hungry, so I didn't eat too much. And then,
yeah, I told her it was our anniversary. Yeah. I said, she goes, "Is this together? Are you guys together?" And I go, "Well, we were."
Yeah.
Because we were paying, I go, "We were," but he kind of broke my heart, so we're trying to work things out. And she's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like,
you said it was our 1 month anniversary, and then I was mad at you because you didn't buy me a card. And I sort of played along with it. I was like, yeah.
I said he got me a gift for my birthday, but he didn't get me a card. I go, you know how important a card is. I go, the gift is nice, but the card is really, it's really not a gift without a card. He just, typical guy, he just forgot about the card. And that means a lot to me.
And we sort of fake argued. I sort of played along this time for some reason. A lot of times I'm irritated, but I played along this time. And it worked so well that as we were leaving, the girl came up, she gave me an envelope, and she wrote on the envelope, "You didn't eat enough food. I can't take your money. Happy anniversary." And she made like a heart, and she gave me $7.50 back.
Yeah, she put it in an envelope. Yeah, handed it to you. Happy anniversary.
I saved that envelope. I can't throw it away. I think it's hilarious.
So I guess you really thought we were a couple. We pulled it off.
Yeah, completely good actors.
Meanwhile, it was like a Moe's or something like that. So like that's where you're gonna go to try to make up. You know what I mean? We're like we're 18 years old.
And we had our MC with us. Like, what did she think he was doing?
Yeah, I know.
He must have been like, I don't know. It was funny.
But yeah, every scenario pretty much on the road is messing people is we're gay. We're a couple and we're gay.
Always. Right? Always. It's always gay. It's always like, yeah, whatever she's having, I'll pay for it. And it's always, we're always gay couple. Always. One time walked up, she's like, "Oh, where'd you guys like to sit?" And you were like, "I don't know, somewhere romantic."
Yeah, I'm like, what's the most romantic table? I go, "It's our anniversary. Could you get us a view?"
Always. And then that time you farted on those old people, I fucking wanted to die.
I don't remember that one. What was that one?
I don't know. Your farts have comedic timing. You always have one in the chamber. We get in an elevator. And there's an old couple holding hands, the sweetest thing you've ever seen. Jim stands right in front of them. Farts right on them, loud as fuck. The second the doors closed. So, like, we had to sit in it and, like, ride down with it. My shoulders are just shaking. I'm in the corner. I wanted to die. It was so fucking rude. And they said nothing.
Nothing. I didn't say anything. I don't even remember this one.
You didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. I was just, they were fucking, dude, you shit on an old couple. It was fucking awful.
So you think they definitely heard it?
Dude, it was like, it was that loud. It was that loud. It was fucking brutal. It was the worst thing I've seen you do, I think, maybe.
And I didn't say one word.
You didn't say one word.
I didn't say I'm sorry.
No.
Nothing.
No. I turned into the corner. I wanted to fucking melt into the floor. I couldn't take it. It was awful. It was a terrible thing to do to anyone. No reason for that, Jim. No reason.
What about the time we were selling merchandise after the show, me, Don Jameson, and you, and me and Don were farting behind the merchandise table, and nobody stopped by because it smelled so bad. And you were in the middle of the two of us, and we wouldn't let you out. We had you cornered because you wanted to get out so bad. But people were coming up to the table, looking, and they go, "Oh my God!" and then running away. And we sold no merchandise, and we didn't even care that night, right?
I cared. I wanted to sell my CD, Gentlemen, on iTunes. I wanted to sell it. God damn it! You fucking. Don's farts are, he's a vegetarian, he has the worst farts ever. They're fucking terrible. And then you were on fire that week. I don't know why. Ugh, awful.
Right, and people were just running by the merchandise table.
And you had me, my back was against the wall, and you wouldn't let me out, and I couldn't sell CDs, and we literally sold no CDs. None. No CDs. All of us, we didn't sell anything. You guys ruined it for no reason. Like on a Saturday, second show, and they thought that was worth it.
It was worth it. It definitely was. Wait, what about that time that woman got mad? Remember, she started yelling at us?
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell that story again.
Okay. So Cleveland Improv, she comes up to you, and she's like,
this is after the show, at the merchandise table. Me, Don, and Joe were there.
Yeah. I emceed, and Don middled, and you were the headliner. She came up, and she said, "You're a misogynist. You talk horrible about women. I'm a feminist, and it's bullshit, and I fucking hated your show." And then she yelled at Don the same thing. And then she looked at me and she goes, "You're good. I like you." And I'm like, "Fuck you. I don't want you to fucking like me."
I know, as she's walking out, you're like, "Fuck you. I don't want you to like me."
I don't want you to fucking like me. If you don't like these guys, then I don't want you to fucking like me because you fucking stink. And then she walked out. She was pissed. That was it.
Yeah, she screamed at me, "You're a misogynist. You're a pig. You hate women. I'm a feminist, and you're just a sexist pig." Yeah. And then the Don, and you're not funny. You do too many race jokes, and you were a little misogynist too. And it wasn't funny you talking about race. But I like you. And she walks away. And you're like, "Fuck you. I don't want you to like me either."
And I did all that in front of my parents. Do you remember that? My parents were standing there.
Meanwhile, remember I said, I go, "Look, I'm talking about my girlfriend at the time, what's going on in our relationship, so I'm not misogynist or sexist. I'm just telling a story." I go, "This isn't generalizing women at all. This is what happened to me and the reaction I had to it."
Yeah, that was when you were talking about like how your girl tells shitty stories and stuff. It wasn't anything bad.
Yeah, it was just like, this is what my girlfriend does. This is my story. It has nothing to do with you. No. If you feel like you do that and maybe your man's fucking annoyed by it, that's not my problem.
Yeah, exactly. Like the part in your act now where you talk about cheating, I know you're making people uncomfortable. Remember that one guy came up and said,
yeah,
he cheated on his chick, and then when you were talking about it last night, he was getting so uncomfortable because he was there with his girl that he just reconciled with. You got to talk about your life. What the fuck?
What about the time where we're playing at the Cleveland Improv, Joe's hometown, and Joe was opening for me and Don, and Joe's parents sat right in the front row. I never met him before, and then Joe's brother was there too at the show. And Joe, tell me what I did to your parents.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a fucking idiot. Just like if you listen to Jim's podcast and you hear how Jim tricks me, like I should know better by now. I've known Jim a long time. I shouldn't fall for this shit. So I did my set, and what happened was I was on stage, and I was doing really well. And then I told a racial joke or something, and I heard my dad laugh because he's from Mississippi. Right. He likes that kind of shit. So I heard my dad's laugh, and I looked, and they were fucking right there in the front, And then I got rattled, but I was almost done with my set, so then I just wrapped up.
So you didn't even know they were coming to the show,
and
they sat right in the front.
Yeah. It was a Sunday night. They did not tell me. They just showed up, and I knew my brother was coming, but I didn't know they were coming, and he didn't either. So then I run back to the green room. I think they did that to be nice, actually. They didn't want me to get nervous or anything, which I wouldn't have been, by the way. So I go back in the green room, and I was a little rattled, and you noticed immediately. You go, "Joe, what's wrong?" And I go, "Oh, nothing. My parents are just fucking here." And they're like right in the front. It's weird. And you're like, "Oh, okay. That's all you said." Then I didn't think anything of it. But then the second you got on stage, you're like, "Where's Joe's parents?" You didn't even warm up with a joke or anything. No. You're like, "Where are they?" And then they raised their hand. And then you kind of started fucking with them, and you asked if they ever caught me jerking off and some of that stuff. But then you were doing like ass-eating bits and then going, "Right, Mrs. Howard?" That's when my brother tapped out and ran out of the room.
Yeah, well, Joe did a whole bit about jerking off, and I go, "Did you know? You heard Joe's bit about. I go, where the Howards at? Right here. I'll go. You heard Joe's joke about masturbating. I go, did you ever catch Joe? Did you know that Joe was doing that in the room while you guys were in the kitchen? Did you know that was going on?
You also asked about gay shit too, if I was gay or whatever. I don't know.
I'm like he has a blue scooter. What is it? Yeah, a baby blue Vespa. Okay, I go, come on, don't you think your son is gay? Did he ever, did he ever dress up in your dresses? All that shit I was saying to you.
The part that bothered my brother the most was when you went back into your material and you were doing material about eating ass and all that.
Anal.
And anal. And then you would just always go, right, Mrs. Howard? Yeah, Mr. Howard knows what I'm talking about. You just kept doing that shit the whole time.
I'm like, come on, maybe you guys are married a long time, right, Mr. Howard? Right? Anal's not out of the question, and your brother's in the room. I'm out, I'm gone, and he just fucking stormed out of the room.
I was at the bar, and Justin comes flying out of the showroom, and he just goes, I'm done. He's cracking up laughing, but he's just like, I can't take it. He goes, Jim's asking Mom about ass eating. I can't take it. And I was just like, okay. I go, that's why I'm not in the room. I know what's coming. So it was great, though. No, we've had a lot of fun over the years, man. We've done a lot of cool shit.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Definitely. All right. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about. All right. So Joe says this is a joke, and I don't believe him.
Yeah, we're going to fight about this.
Okay, Joe fucking bought a selfie stick.
I didn't buy it.
And everyone that listens to my podcast or anything just in general knows how much I fucking despise him. I mean, it's the worst invention ever. And then he also does that fucking Periscope shit where I'm just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'll wait 6 months for the next fad, and maybe I'll join that one because nobody's going to be talking about Periscope in 6 months or a year. It's going to be something else that's going to be better, and everyone's going, I don't do that anymore. I don't give a fuck. I can't keep up with everything. There's too many things out there. It's the same people that follow me on Twitter, on the fucking Facebook fan page, and on Instagram are going to follow me on Periscope. So what the fuck is the difference? I'm not gaining any more fans. I'm not selling out arenas now because I fucking Periscope.
And that's fine for you, and I totally agree with what you're saying. For you, it's probably not a great thing. You have a podcast, too. I do not have a podcast. So I use Periscope. I'm kind of sick. I use Periscope as my podcast. So like when I do what we're doing right now, I write down topics and I go on Periscope. Or sometimes I just when I was watching the finals, the Cavs were in the finals. I would go on and I would Periscope during the game, yelling and carrying on, just going on rants and just doing basically what you do, but like this is a video feed. Now to make it interesting, first of all, I didn't buy the selfie stick. It was given to me.
It doesn't matter.
That's okay.
That's like someone saying, like, I didn't buy the anal beads, but they were given to me, so I might as well just stick them in my ass. I'll stick them in my ass. I didn't buy them, so what am I going to do? Someone gave them to me free, so I'm going to stick them in my ass. So I don't want to fucking hear that you didn't buy it.
But listen, before you started hating and rallying against selfie sticks.
I did. From day one, I did.
No, this was before. I hated them too, and I thought it was the dumbest shit ever. But when I got one for free, I was like, this is what I'm going to do to make my Periscope different and annoying. And if you watch the first episode of my Periscope, which you can't, it goes away after a couple days. But the first episode, I'm like screaming about selfie sticks, and I'm like, I'm doing this to bother all of you.
You know why the Periscope stuff goes away in a couple days?
Why?
Because it's all meaningless.
That's true. It's just like this podcast then. It's
but these are up that people could go listen to. They're not really dated. If someone can go back 3 years and listen to a podcast, I'm not talking about what the most current thing in the news and be like, that's fucking old. Once in a while I do that. But so this is just, you can listen to this shit anytime. The Periscope just goes away because it's all fucking nonsense.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's what it is in a nutshell. It's just fucking nonsense. If it was at any fucking substance, it would stay up forever.
There's comics that do great Periscopes. I follow Harlan Williams, Stephen Brody Stevens, different guys, and it's cool to watch. Jay Moore does one. It's good. It's like an extension. It's like a podcast. It's like that, but it goes away. But I use it as a podcast because I don't have a podcast, so. That's how I do it, and I do it with the selfie stick, and usually it's just me in my house having a whiskey.
Can you just say, don't even say that word because it fucking makes me cringe?
Which one?
Can you just say, I used a stick? Don't say that other word. I had to fucking correct Joe last night because some guy bought merchandise. He goes, man, that was cool. That guy pulled out a Hyundai and bought a lot of merchandise. I go, Joe, don't ever fucking say that word. Hyundai, ugh. Instead of $100 bill, he pulled out a Hyundai. Yuck. You should know better. That fucking stinks.
You know what? Yeah, I know. I got to edit myself when I'm around you because I do know that is bad.
But you know,
that is
Joe,
a bad one. You're right.
Joe, you know comedy, you know
100%.
this and that and stuff like that. You got a fucking edge. You understand it.
I'm a wordsmith. I should know better than to use those kinds of words. You're correct.
That was.
Yeah, that was bad.
That one hurt me. That was like you fucked my chick behind my back.
Tell
That's
him
how much it hurt.
Tell him the other thing that you yelled at me last night. You said you lost an hour's sleep because you were reading my tweets.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, the baseball. He's an Indians fan, and one of the pitchers had a no-hitter going, and Joe was tweeting about how the announcer's got to stop talking about it because he's jinxing the pitcher, and he's not going to throw a no-hitter now because the announcers started bringing it up at like the 6th and 7th inning. And I swear it took me an hour to go to sleep that night. I was so mad because I was reading that late at like 1 in the morning, and I knew you were sleeping already, so I couldn't call you. And I was so fucking pissed. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He really thinks that the announcer is talking about it is going to affect that guy. He doesn't have an earpiece in the pitcher. He doesn't hear the announcer saying that. It's really not messing with his head. He knows it. The 45,000 people in the stands know that he has a no-hitter. Everybody knows it. So them talking about it is not going to jinx it.
I know.
I'm like, Joe, you're a smart guy. So let's cut through this. Let's break this down. Where is this coming from? You know what I mean? Like, where would the jinx come from? Like, so if the announcer talks about it, how does it get back to the pitcher when he doesn't hear the announcer talking about it?
I was more irritated they were putting a thing on the screen that said he has a no-hitter going through 6. And I was just like, if you know baseball, you see the line score right there. It's 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 errors. You know goddamn well he's got a no-hitter going. Stop. Like, and then you weren't watching the game like I was. The Cleveland Indians TV announcers are fucking annoying. They're shitheads. I don't really like the one guy I can't stand. So he just nonstop. He's just like, one more out, and then he's this and that. He's just bringing it up nonstop. It's like, just call the game the right way. I turned down the TV volume and I put on the radio. That's how, because I love the radio guys.
Right.
But like, you don't understand what corny cocksuckers these fucking TV guys are.
All right, but they're putting that on the screen, so if someone's channel surfing and stops, and they go, holy shit, this guy's got a no-hitter through 6 innings, they're going to stop and watch it. That's what they're trying to do. Everybody's fucking going through the channels. Oh, Carrasco, whatever his name is, got a no-hitter through 7 innings. Holy shit, we got to tune this in. That's why they do it. And it's not jinxing the guy at all.
And the more I thought about it, you're right about that. And also, what if you're in a bar with the sound down? They got it up there, so I guess it does tell you. I don't know. I was just irritated while it was going on.
I'm a San Francisco Giant fan, and they've thrown like 7 no-hitters in the last 3 years. And I've listened to a lot of them on the radio or the TV, and they're talking about it, and they still throw them. They still throw them. Tim Lincecum fucking threw 2 no-hitters in the last few years, and he's on the bench. Usually in baseball, they got some fucking weird tradition where you're not allowed to talk to the pitcher. You stay away from him. If he's throwing a no-hitter, fucking retards. So Lincecum is just clowning around with everybody in the dugout through every inning and not giving a care in the world, and he still threw the no-hitter. So let's fucking throw that shit out the window.
You're right. I'm not superstitious. I was just irritated at the announcers. It looked like it in the tweets, I guess. But...
And has any guy ever said, oh, man, you had a no-hitter, 2 outs a night, that guy got a single, man, what happened? Well, the backup catcher in the 7th inning said, dude, you're doing great, just keep it up. And I'm fucking blaming him. How come we've never seen that in the press conference?
Well, not for nothing, Jim. That no-hitter was broken up with 2 outs in the 9th with an 0-2 count. The guy got a base hit. Maybe they were talking about him. Maybe it did jinx him.
But why hasn't anyone ever called that person out? Like, if those fucking TV announcers didn't stop talking about it, you know what I mean? If they would have just kept their mouth shut, that guy would have never got a single up the middle. How does the batter know where the ball's going to go?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, how does that batter know? Okay, how good the Indians are talking about it? That means I'm getting the base hit up the middle. So I'm going to swing the bat exactly at this time to get a hit right up the middle.
You're 100% right. There's no superstition. We've talked about this before. None of that stuff matters. It just doesn't exist. Superstitious stuff. It doesn't. So you're right. I was just irritated because those announcers suck. They fucking irritate me. I turned them down and put on the radio because I love the radio.
No, I get that annoying announcers.
Yeah, when you stop talking about it, and it was just like, well, there's other shit going on. Like, just call a game.
I wish I was a sports announcer. I'd be the first out of the game. 26 more outs, and he's got a no hitter. 26, 25. And then a fly ball center. 24 more outs. 8 more innings.
That's almost what they were doing.
Good, and I would do it every fucking time.
That's what they were doing. It was super annoying. But whatever. Yeah, it's fine. Of course, he didn't get the no-hitter because it's the Indians and we're Cleveland, and we always fucking... Cleveland just tries to break your heart at every turn. You can't even get a no-hitter in the regular season. to make me happy. It'll never work. Nothing good will ever happen in Cleveland, sports-wise. LeBron might win one, maybe, but probably not.
You guys had a good year with LeBron.
It was fucking amazing. The finals were great. I don't even like basketball, but I watched the playoffs, and it was fucking amazing. And just everybody got hurt, you know?
All right, so let's go back to your stick.
Okay.
You got it for free, so that means you should use it because you got it for free.
No,
which makes no sense.
If you watch the first couple of episodes of my...
You can't because it's gone.
I know.
Because it's meaningless and it's garbage. Not yours, just everything in general. Thank you.
Okay, so I use the selfie stick to annoy people.
No, you don't fucking say
did
that
something
word. Don't say, just say a fucking stick.
I use the stick
Okay.
to annoy people. I did something so gay, you're going to get so mad when I tell you this. I took the stick,
Mm-hmm.
I bolted it to the scooter, and I fucking went on a bank run with it, and people watched it, and they loved it. People thought it was great.
Is Caitlyn Jenner following your Periscope? Did she think it was great?
She probably would. She probably would really like it. And I have this thing in my car, too, and I do these rants where I'm in my car and I Periscope.
That's fine. I got no problem with rants. You know what I mean? Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
What I do. Well, that's what I do on it.
But what do you need to stick for?
I want it because I watch a lot of them, and a lot of them, you know, it's just people holding it in front of them, and I wanted it to look different. And when you do it and you walk around with it like above your head and shit, it looks different. And then like when you just do stuff, I don't know.
Joe, you're a handyman. You know how to fix shit. You fucking work on cars. You do this. You build shit. Yeah. Can't you just build something and put your phone in instead of getting that stick, using that stick?
I actually tried that. It didn't work out. I was trying to do one, but it no matter what you do, it's still a stick. I mean, it's still something.
You could just hold your phone. People aren't going to be like, dude, what the fuck, man? They know you're just walking around with your phone.
Well, first of all, I don't take that thing in public ever. Like I do. That's what I use that in my house and stuff. And I was going to do one with you.
Didn't. You just had one on your fucking scooter.
I did that too. But I don't like. I couldn't walk around in public with that thing. It's too gay. I mean, it's horrible. I understand what I'm doing. What I'm doing is ironic. It's almost like a hipster thing. I'm being an asshole.
No.
You disagree, but that's what I'm doing.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're not.
Is.
You just said you got it for free and you want to do something different because you want a different angle than everybody else just holding it. So you're not doing it as an ironic hipster.
It also prevents double chin. You keep it above your head, you look better.
Does it really matter at this point? You got a fucking caveman beard. Nobody could see your chin. You can't even see your face.
That's why I grew the beard, to cover up that shit. It's a disaster. I'm a fucking slob. I don't know, Jim. I'm just trying to do different shit and be weird. I don't know. If you disagree with it, it's fine. You know, we have different careers.
No, I understand. No, that's great. Whatever exposure you can, but you hit 40 and you're walking around with a stick
in my house.
Yeah, but still,
you're
40, and you have a stick that like 16-year-old girls have because they take pictures of themselves and they're like, oh, that's good.
The ironic funny part about it.
16-year-old girls have that in their locker room, and you're a 40-year-old man.
That's the ironic.
No, it's not ironic. You got it for
it.
free, and you said you wanted a different angle to cover your fucking double chins. So it's not ironic, and you're not doing it because you want to be like a hipster and just annoy people.
People enjoy my Periscope.
I'm sure they do, but you don't need to stick. You're a grown man.
I'm still gonna do the stick because it's funny, and people talk to me about it, and they say they like it. So I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna keep doing it. You can hate on it all you want. I knew I was gonna get shit from you, but we're gonna do it.
I didn't even know you had until someone started tweeting me and said Joe Howard's got one of those sticks.
Why did that guy start tweeting you? You know why? Because he's on my nuts. He's watching my fucking Periscope, and he knows about it.
And he's not watching anymore after you use that stick.
Yes, he is. I know the guy. These people talk to me on my Periscope, and people like it. It's fun. I try to do interesting stuff with it. I don't just go on there and, and the selfie stick's part of it. I try to.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Sorry, the stick is part of it. I make it interesting. I try to make it interesting so people tune in. And they do. I get a lot of hits.
Your Periscope is not more interesting because you're using a stick. It's interesting because you have a distinctive point of view in your rants and your raging and all that other stuff. That's why they're tuning in. It has nothing to do with a stick. No one's going to go, I like this guy's Periscope, but I like this one. But Joe Howard uses a stick, so I like that one better. They're not. They want content, good original content, which you give them. But the stick is not making it better. It's only because of your insecurities with your two fucking double chins that nobody could see because you look like fucking Jeremiah Johnson. You live in the woods. Okay? You can't even see that you barely even have a face. So, enough.
I'm gonna
When you shave your beard and you think you have two chins, then try a different angle. You're like a chick. You're like a 17-year-old girl in the mirror taking 17 pictures of themselves to make sure you get a good one. Just accept who you are. You're dating a hot chick. You had a hot wife at the time. You've done very well for yourself. Okay, you have no problem with that. You're fucking abrasive. You're rough around the edges, and chicks like that. And you're a fucking Cleveland 10. You got a fucking big house. You got a good job. You got a pension coming in 4 years. You're a funny comic. You're a fucking unbelievable cat. You're a 10 in Cleveland. I'm not going to tell people what you are in New York, but you're a 10 in Cleveland.
I'm a 3 in New York. I'm an LA 1. Come on. Let's be honest.
Right, but you're an unbelievable catch in Cleveland.
That's true. Yeah, I do very well. When I try to do Periscope, I just use it because I don't want to do a podcast. I don't want to get a server. I don't want to do all that shit. So the Periscope is easy. It's just laziness, Jim.
No. Look, I do the podcast for myself because it's easier than booking guests and all that other stuff and going to a studio. But the stick is what I have a problem with.
The stick is just there. I'm telling you, you won't believe it. I do it to annoy people because guys were giving me shit about it, and I liked it. And I was fighting with people because you don't know what Periscope is like. People start texting you, and then you can argue with them. And so people were talking about the stick, and then I started like fighting with people and goofing around, and it was fun, and it was a fun thing, and it sort of became a thing. And now when I pop on and I don't use the stick, people are like, "Where's the stick?" They want to see it because it gives a weird view of my house and stuff. It's kind of cool. So I don't know. I'll fight with you about this forever, but I'm just saying.
All right. So what is your Periscope so people can, listen to podcasts, might want to follow you on there, and then, bug the shit out of you because you use that stick.
Oh yeah, now it's gonna be once they hear this, it's gonna be fucking on like crazy. But I don't care. All right, Ghetto Joe Howard is my Twitter. That's how you get my Periscope. Because whenever I record a live Periscope, which I do just randomly. It comes up on my Twitter page, and then so follow me on Twitter, Ghetto Joe Howard, and come talk to me on Periscope. It's fun. That's it.
You consider that fun?
You know what?
So there's a lot more. You tell me about your sex life. That sounds like fun.
My sex life is real fun.
Okay, does that compare? You want to put fun on a scale of 1 to 10? The things you're doing sexually compared to your Periscope with your stick. Is it even close?
No, it's not even close.
So you can't put fun. Those two funs are way apart.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said fun. Periscope is what I do when I'm in my house, my huge house that I got in the divorce, my beautiful huge house. When I'm not having a girl stick her feet in my mouth and eat my ass. When I'm in my huge house drinking a nice whiskey and I'm alone and just bored. That's when I fire up Periscope. So I wouldn't say it's fun. It's just what I do when I'm lonely.
All right. Fair enough.
I was going to hire a Chinese kid to come over and throw firecrackers around my house. But
one of the greatest scenes ever in a movie, Boogie Nights.
I act like that guy a lot.
One of the greatest scenes ever. Sister Christian, I all of a sudden love that song, Night Ranger. And if you think about it, really, there was no reason for that scene.
My favorite part is when Jesse's Girl is the first one. You forget about that. Forget about that. But he's got Jesse's Girl on, and then he's like, what? He says something. He's like, she should be with me. He says he's all coked up. Oh, I act like that guy a lot. I walk around in my robe.
When Mark Wahlberg and the other dude just keep reacting to the fucking firecrackers every time, fucking going off, it's all fucking coked up.
It's one of the greatest things ever, yeah. And I act like that guy. It's either that or it's Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood. It's like that. I'm just walking around the house.
In a bathrobe, swigging whiskey.
It happens, and that's when I Periscope.
Right.
Who doesn't want to watch it? It's fun. It's cool. People come on and they like it.
Tell everyone about the story about your doors on your Jeep. Who you have never lived that one down. You had a Jeep.
Yeah, that came up. Well, that was another one where I dared to say, Jim got mad at me because my Jeep doesn't have automatic locks, and he kept getting out of my Jeep without locking the door, and I was like, dude, you gotta lock the door. He's like, why don't you have automatic locks in this? And I go, because Jeeps, you take the doors off and stuff. And he's like, why would you do that? Why? Of course. And I'm like, I don't know. It's fun. You take the doors off and drive around. It's not fun. Threesomes are fun. That's the whole thing. You did that on the radio in Cleveland, and everybody still brings it up.
Joe said that driving around with a Jeep with the doors off is fun. He goes, nah, I just go out on the highway and I take the doors off and it's fun. And that was like 8 years ago, and I brought up on the radio all over the place, and now Joe still gets it. I get pictures.
I
You
get pictures of Jeeps with doors off.
Yeah, is this fun? Yeah, and stuff like that. Joe made the mistake of saying it was fun to drive around with the doors off on his Jeep.
Well, you'll be happy to know I had a kid, so now I can't take the doors off because you don't want to get in a wreck with your kid and not have fucking doors on your Jeep. So the doors haven't come off the Jeep in 4 years. So
okay, what's more fun, the stuff that's going on in your life sexually, or driving around with your doors off in a Jeep?
I had to go get spackle the other day and spackle the wall behind my headboard.
Why?
Because I was fucking on the bed so much it was banging into the headboard and scratched up the wall. I tweeted it out.
See, that sounds like fun.
It's a lot more
That's a fun trip to fucking Home Depot to get spackle and with a smirk on your face, like, why? This is why I'm getting spackle.
I've never smiled more in a Home Depot than that time. But yeah, that's more fun than Periscope and taking the doors off your Jeep. It's way more fun. Yes.
All right. The great Joe Howard. Check him out. Ghetto Joe Howard on Twitter. Good comic from Cleveland. And, yeah, I think that's it.
We didn't really hit any topics. We just talked about me, and you sucked the joy out of my life.
No, I just, I'm trying to help you as a friend.
You have made me a better man, Jim Florentine.
Just as a friend. I'm just like, please, Joe, come on.
Are we gonna Periscope tonight at the club?
Because one thing about Joe does, my whole theory on that, Joe doesn't try to fit in anywhere. He doesn't give a fuck. One thing about Joe does not give a fuck. He doesn't care. He just goes on stage with a beer and he tells fucking dirty, fucking edgy jokes and doesn't give a shit. He'll do all these racial jokes in front of a black crowd. He doesn't care. He's doing, when those girls from Cleveland went missing and they were kidnapped for 10 years in the basement, the next day he's doing jokes about it in his hometown. He's getting booed and he loves it. So he doesn't try to fit in at all. He loves it. He loves it, fucking annoying people, being obnoxious. So
that's what the stick is about.
Right, but no, but then you with your Hyundai, the guy gave you a Hyundai and your stick. It's like you're almost trying, let me a little over here, let me try to fit in, but you don't have to. You're a fucking stubborn man set in your own ways. You got your own house, you got a good job, you're a fucking good comic. You don't have to do that shit. And you don't.
Yeah, I know. I just like to irritate people.
You don't fucking drink craft beers. You don't do any of that bullshit, any of that fucking, trendy shit.
So irritated there's no Paps here in Omaha.
Exactly. Yesterday, we were outside for a little while, and Joe took his shirt off because he was wearing, it was a Gigi Allen shirt, which you're definitely not trying to fit in, a Gigi Allen shirt, and he's like, I got to wear this to the show, and he took it off, and then he walked through the lobby of the hotel with a wedding party, ready to go to a wedding, all dressed up, and you walked in with no shirt on, with tattoos all over you. Just walked through the lobby, fucking shirtless. That's a man that doesn't give a fuck, and I love that.
My fucking dad body in full effect. Everybody just look.
Don't say that. Don't say that either. God damn it. God damn it. Ugh. All right, we gotta go. I'm fucking. My day is ruined.
Take my number out of your phone.
Ugh. Ugh. Goodbye.